Oh, goody.
Alright, what's up everybody? It is Zombies here again, and today we have another team comp for you. So this is one we actually kind of theory crafted a little bit on the Fighting Pit this week, our regular Mercenaries podcast, and we were talking about different Valeera openers, right? We've seen a lot of different kind of Valeera openers, and I talked a little bit about how I called VGX. Now that can be a little confusing because V and G are obviously Valeera and Grom, but when I was saying X, I meant X as in any third one that fills in, but one that has gotten kind of popular is Xyrella, so that abbreviation can actually kind of mean two different things and can be a little confusing. But what we decided to throw in for our third unit here to kind of go with the Valeera and Grom has been the Natalie. And the idea behind this is we wanted to go with a kind of back-end shadow synergy while still getting the nice health bonus from Cookie. I was kind of thinking that, we've been seeing kind of a big shift in a lot of backlines going more towards the nature backline over Karen Diablo Cookie. So it is kind of, I think, a good idea to maybe have a fighter in your backline to kind of help deal with them in the end game. You still do need casters though, because you do have to deal with Malfurion, because if you don't deal with him, then it becomes a lot harder to deal with their other units unless you can one-shot them with something like Illidan, which we do not have here in that comp. But yeah, so we're kind of trying to run a shadow sub strategy. So there are actually some interesting things you can do here though with this, and my kind of idea in brewing it was Staggering Slam is a 2-speed ability, right? And you can get a lot of benefit in the Valeera mirror sometimes when you get your slam off first. And so with Natalie actually gives us another way to act on turn 2, which is something Xyrella can't even do. And by acting on turn 2, we actually stack the coin flip in our favor, so it was more likely we go off first with the Grom, and that can be very beneficial in some of the Valeera matchups. So that was kind of the intention with Natalie. The other thing about her is we've seen Natalie be very powerful when she's been combined with speed ups like Vol'jin. We do have Vol'jin here on the bench for that very kind of combo and synergy, but one cool thing is with her Anathema and Benediction, if you have her out and you have Valeera out, it's basically just a better Vol'jin, right? Like it's giving you -4 to the speed, so your board clear is really fast, and it also actually does it to your healing ability, which is something that Vol'jin does not do, right? So really, really nuts, and that was kind of the intention behind the build, and I'm hoping that the healing is going to be kind of a good way to keep most of my board alive, especially Valeera as well as Natalie herself, so she can kind of keep the healing spam going. So yeah, that's kind of the intention with her as a lead. Then when it comes to our bench here, we do have Cookie. The big thing about Cookie is we really do want that bonus health on all our units, and Fish Feast is just disgusting. It is such a incredibly powerful death blow. I'd argue it's probably the best death blow in the game right now, just because of how fast it is and how much that extra HP can kind of matter in the late game, and all of his abilities are just fantastic. They really, really are strong, and it's no surprise that he's finding his way into like almost every comp right now. The rest of our backline though is we actually are running a shadow backline. So the intention with this is Vol'jin, I feel like he's kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit, but he is a really, really good revenge killer, especially against a lot of these protector heavy starts that we're kind of seeing in the meta right now, and especially if your Grom or your Valeera dies, or and you still have Natalie out. Like I've had one or two testing games where I was able to have Natalie, Vol'jin, and Valeera out at the same time, and it's just insanity. Like everything is way too fast, and it's really cool to see. But even if one of them dies, they just combo well with each other. Like Vol'jin's just a independently strong unit, and when you can get him comboing with Natalie, and he also combos with Sylvanas. Like this is an interaction you don't really think about as much, because a lot of times Vol'jin is such a threat that people target him. So usually by the time Sylva's coming out, most of your stuff's already dead and gone, and you're trying to get that reclaimed souls boost and close out the game with her. But if you do still have your Vol'jin out, you can actually get some very quick Banshee Bolt snipes in, and that can be really relevant, actually. Another thing is all her abilities are Shadow, so Vol'jin speeds up not just Banshee Bolt, it speeds up everything. One important thing to note, though, is I did try out a little bit of For the Queen once or twice in my practice games, and I did learn that if you are using this to make adjacent enemies attack, the one between them, super effective damage isn't applied. So if you have a green in the middle and you have a red on the outside, when that red hits the green, super effective damage is not applied that way. So that is an important thing to note, because there was one situation in my testing where that would have been really, really insane, because the opponent scaled up a Garrosh and it would have just dealt so much damage. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So For the Queen, definitely probably her least usability, but Banshee Bolt and Reclaim Souls are so good, and along with her Death Rattle here, kind of helping to close out the game, where sometimes it'll even give you, because of these, very caster-heavy benches, it can potentially give you ties when you would otherwise lose the game. So that can be kind of cool. Death Volley is just very, very powerful, and it makes her a threat. But I do kind of also want to experiment more with Mournblade and Souljar, to be honest. I think both of them could be kind of cool and have some potential, especially maybe like Mournblade in a comp like this, where you're trying to get her and Vol'jin or her and Valeera on the field at the same time. So you can get like speed ups with that 15 attack, because it's 30 crit damage. That's not nothing. And then you could still scale up anyway if you want to. So yeah, it's interesting to think about, but this is kind of the build we settled on talking on the podcast, and I think it's one that has a lot of potential, but won't really know for sure until we try out some games with it. So we're going to get into those in just a minute here. But if you're enjoying the content, do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It does a really big job in helping us out here and growing the channel, getting more content out there. So yeah, if you're enjoying it, remember to do that, and we will get into some games. And we have ourselves a game. All right. 4 casters. Oh lordy. Should be interesting to see. Well, we're gonna try our start here with Natalie and see how it goes. Wow, they went full shadow, huh? They went full shadow. Well, they're gonna be faster, right? Like, actually, wait, what does this go down to? So this can combo with Valeera. So we actually want to slow you to mess up Valeera's combo, I think. Get a combo of our own and then deal some damage. I think just probably Anathema. Seems good. Seems good. Oh, so they still had a way to combo with Valeera because of the Vol'jin. That's pretty clever, to be honest. I do like that. Alright, so we have an opportunity here to stack 0 speed abilities for a better chance at a quick kill. So I think we go... I'd also really like to heal, but I can heal next turn, I think. Like, the most important thing is to blast the Vol'jin. Honestly, I should just try and crash in if I can. No, that's greedy. He's no way he lives. Yeah, I think I think that gives us the best chance, right? Let's try it. All right, very nice. We sniped the Vol'jin. That's big. That's big stuff. Because now they're healed, but they are out of hiding. No speed buff for you, opponent. And we can get our Vol'jin in and start doing some pretty disgusting things here. Alright, so... Wow, we're very fast with the Vol'jin. So how do we want to do this exactly? We can focus down Valeera with our Valeera. I think we do want the health from Benediction now, though. Save this for next turn for Benediction. So I think we actually go for the slow. Do we go for the slow? Maybe we just want the damage across the board, to be honest. Malph's going to heal off some of it, but... kind of okay with it. And then... oh, but this... yeah, no, actually, that's good. That's pretty good. Because we could get a little bit more damage on the Valeera, but I don't think that makes a difference. It's like 2 damage. Yeah, their Valeera is so weak right now. They went for the AoE, so I guess ours is too, but like... we have zero speed Anathema. Like, we have a very big board wipe here. We can stack our zeros, and I think... I mean... do we go for ambush? They have appetizers, so they could cookie snipe, so I think we actually are okay with just sending our Valeera into death here. Because we don't want to leave it open for a cookie snipe next turn. That would be bad news. We could also consider the line of healing, but I think really just going all out on the damage is what we want to do here. Yeah, I haven't seen a Vol'jin lead in a while, to be honest with you. Alright, so they get some healing. But now we Shadow Weakness, Anathema, a lot of damage. Our Valeera goes down, but that's a-okay. I think we just... I don't even think we need to send in Sylve yet. I think we just send in Cookie, to be honest. We save Sylve as our like last one on the bench. For once more people have died, and she can just clean things up. Alright, so for us, let's see. This might be a, kind of a stall war here almost. I think we want to summon a fish. And then slow the Cookie. And then heal.
Job's done.
Because then Cookie will be slow for next turn. Kind of like that. Oh no, wait, we're faster than it? Interesting. So he didn't go for just base regular damage with it. Alright, so they went for that. That's fine. Alright, so he summoned the same fish. This is actually pretty good for me, though, because I can go Curse of Weakness into Cookie Snipe on the fish to buff my guys. And then Anathema. And then I'll give health. The big reason why it's... like, the fish would die anyway, but the big reason why it's important is that'll actually give our fish more health, so it'll be harder for them to pop it, as well as buffing our board. I've just... whenever you can get those... death blow cookie snipes in, just do it. It'll win you the game if you get enough of them. That's, if I've learned anything in playing Cookie, it is that is like easily one of his biggest strengths. So we get our buff here, very, very nice. Even more damage. Yeah, I think they just can't they really can't do a whole lot to us here. Because now we can just heal up again, and we can keep the damage rolling, right? Like, I mean, I even kind of like bleeding with the Cookie, to be honest. What do we want to slow down here? Probably the Natalie, maybe? No, the Cookie. Probably the cookie for next turn. So we can't snipe the thing. I don't know. This is tough. Maybe I just go for damage, actually. Maybe damage is right. I kind of like... I mean, I like healing up for sure. But yeah, let's just go for damage. AoE damage instead. The slow's really... I don't think it matters a whole ton. So yeah, that obviously hurts, right? But like, we're healing up. I guess it's scary because their Brucon is scaling still. So I don't really like that. Anathema. And... I think we have to summon the fish. I think the fish are just how we can kind of win here, I think. They're one of the ways that'll help us win. Alright, so they finally knocked down our board here. Cookie's cooking into reclaimed souls. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Because I'm assuming they're going to focus our cookie to just try and leave us with just the Sylve, I think. Or they could try and get damage on the Sylve too. Okay, so I guess they're damaging the Sylve, which makes sense. Oh, Lord. Well, they left Cookie alone, because now Cookie can get a snipe, right? And then we shoot their Brucon. I think. We're good. I think. Please? Rage? They still have an advantage here, though, if they're smart about it, because they can, they could actually go for the heal here and stack it with their Cookie ability to give them better odds so they can't get Cookie sniped here. Because Cookie snipe is really what puts us in the game. Like, gives us more health, gets more damage on the board from the fish dying. Because if the fish doesn't die, this doesn't die from 70 damage this turn. And then we are in trouble. If it does die, I think we win the game from here. Or at the very worst case, we tie it. I think in retrospect, probably should have focused more on the Natalie. The healing's definitely been more powerful than I thought it would be here. All right, so fantastic. We do actually win the flip there. That's really insane. That's really insane, and I think we just win from here now. They can't really do anything to stop Sylvanas here. There we go. Yep, GG. Alright, what are they rocking? So I would imagine this is going to be some kind of Valeera start. Yep, looks like it. Alright, Valeera, Zyrella. So, last time I played Valeera Zyrella, I lost the coin flip against Zyrella, and holy shit does that suck. I mean, it is a favored flip for them because they do stack 3 speed abilities. No, but if we hit Valeera first, it's actually not favored. So I think the move here is going to be what I did last time against a matchup like this, where we hit the Valeera. We actually go for the healing here because we're stacking our 2 speeds. We want to slow Valeera down. By slowing Valeera down, that turns this from a 2/3 to 1/3 coin flip into a 50-50. And if we win the 50-50, we're in a really, really good spot. If we lose it, we're not in such a good spot, but that's just something you kind of have to accept in these Valeera mirrors. I think there's not a ton you can do to get around it other than just try and be smart about when you oh yeah, well, so now we're stealthed, but our Valeera's alive, which is big. That actually matters a lot, right? Because now we get to do the coin flipping. we get to do some coin flips, right? We can go for a light beam. Actually, we don't even need the light beam. We can just go for damage. We can go for slow and attack.
Job's done.
I think this is right. I mean, part of me wants to go for the chance of a kill with Battle Fury, but it's really risky. I think we do kind of need to stack our abilities here. Let's go for it. I think, in general, I don't think Xyrella is actually that good for the Valeera comp, but I think it's pretty good against what we're playing. I don't think it's good against a lot of the other stuff in the meta right now. I think the intention is to counter some of the Protector stuff, but I don't really know how well that ends up working. And there isn't as much like pure Protector Valeera starts as there were like a few days ago. It's already starting to feel different. Did our opponent rope out? So both Valeeras trade. Okay. Well, now we send in Vol'jin, right? Their Valeera being gone now is really big. The last time I was in this matchup, our Valeeras did not die the same turn, and if one person's Valeera dies before the others, it's really, really bad in the Valeera mirror. We're lucky we do have some AoE ways to kind of clean up here, but it's rough when you lose your Valeera and they still have theirs given a nice speed boost. Rukan, so it looks like it's a nature bench with a Cookie and Malfurion. I think we should actually be okay into that, to be honest. We just want to start nuking the board for as much damage as possible, and then going in for some... Is there any point in slowing here? Because Xyrella can deal a fair bit of damage, right? Xyrella can deal 20, and between her and Brukan, they're probably going to kill this, so I think I do actually go for the slow instead, because I think going for Battle Fury is just way too greedy. Maybe they won't focus the Grom because he's not quite as much the threat, but I think they will. Oh, the slow. Whew. That was a turn. That was definitely a turn. Geez, a lot of stuff happened there. Well, it's definitely cookie time, I think. Cookie time is here. Send in a cookie of their own. Okay. So, we need to stack things. So, 2, 2, and 2. Although it is really tempting to go for the benediction, I just don't think that's as smart. Well, actually, let's think about it. If we gain the 15, right? Because we're favored to win regardless of whether we do 3 of them or 2 of them. If we do win the flip, that brings us up to 15 plus 18, so that's 33. I think it's safer just to heal myself. And it gives us better odds, right, on the speed ties. This should be good for us. Because Cookie's the only one that ties us, yeah, see. And now we heal ourselves. Exactly. Perfecto. Perfecto. This is what we wanted. and we should have an easy time kind of ripping apart their Malfurion here. Let's actually figure out what that... So that's 14... that's even more, because they get what? Plus 6 weakness to Shadow, so 16 plus 6 is 22, so that's 44, 14 and 44, 54, 58, 58, 60, 78. So we can almost kill with Cookie. We can actually set up for a kill next turn if we just focus the mouth, which I think is 100% the move. Okay. And they get the kill right. Yep, that's fine. That's actually very good for us because we don't want them to be able to cookie snipe on faster speed here. One thing to keep in mind is they are going to have healing before we can act to kill them. So the way around that, I think, is just going for Shadow Surge into Fish Feast, and we actually want to... Actually, we might even be able to get some... We might even be able to do the combo here, but that's probably greedy, and we should just go for the Reclaimed Souls. Reclaimed Souls is pretty much always right with Sylve in the late game against two casters. Like, it just makes sense, because then we can kill them pretty quick. They're already weak. They're going to get some more healing here. It's not nearly going to be enough healing to stop killing the mouth and getting us a nice health buff, and then we should just be able to wrap it up. But yeah, they're definitely in mirrors, like, especially with this Zyrel one, it definitely feels like there are more... The coin flips in the early game matter a lot, because I've faced this matchup once before, and the opponent won one of those initial coin flips, and it totally changed the outcome of the game, like a significant amount. We can kill his Brukan here, and that's pretty much just going to give it to us. Like, can't deal with Sylve, so we'll just murder Cookie, and that'll be a GG. Nice seeing Sylve doing work here. Like, this was my thought of putting her in the deck, right? Like, there's so many nature running around, Sylve could be good against that, and at least here, seems like she was. Oh, it looks like we have a rematch against Wild Wolf here. So we know they're going with that Chateau Valeera start. Okay, so this is interesting. So there are actually two ways they can combo their Valeera here, which we learned from the last time we played against them. So that begs the question, what is the better one to slow here? Yeah, it's hard to say, really. I think we slow... Actually, let's focus the Natalie a bit, I think. Actually, nah. Focusing Vol'jin worked last game. So let's do what we did last time, because it seemed to do well for us. Alright, so I think we just do what we did before, right? We just go for the kill on Vol'jin, we go for the damage with Valeera, and we go for the smack.
Job's done.
Makes sense to me. Okay, wow. They actually win a pretty big speed time there. That gives them quite a lot of extra damage, for being honest here. However, now our Vol'jin is here to clean up their Valeera, so that's pretty good. Pretty good, if I do say so myself.
For the wild.
Okay, so we have lots of 0 speeds here. Curse of Weakness seems good. Like, we just need to stack all our abilities here.
Job's done.
But they do have, so one thing, the deck tracker gets confused when a Merc enters from the bench. It doesn't properly display that it has -4 speed, so he actually does have a 0 speed here, so we could be going all 0 speeds. Kind of what people are finding frustrating about Valeera is all these freaking coin flips. So we're seeing an example of that here. We do win this coin flip, though, after losing the last one. So very good for us. Very good. And yeah, I think we can just kind of run away with the game from here, I'm pretty sure. We really need to focus Natalie, though. Natalie gave us a lot of trouble in the last game. Okay, so Burkhan. Alright, so we can go. What's this? Deal 16, so that'd be 32. So I can just kill. I mean, I kind of want to heal again. Can I kill the mouse with, let's see, 12, and that's 24. 24 and 23. Oh, that's exactsies, right? 24 and 23. Oh, that's more than enough. 23 and yep, that should be good. Actually, I think I can just go for the, yeah, that's 20 and then no, I have to go for the, yeah, yep. All right, I did it right. All right, let's do it. Yep, very good, very good. Kill the mouth, get a nice big heal here. And as you can see, they're really hoping to... Look at that. Heal for 30. Just give yourself 2 health. Not the greatest for them. Not the greatest. And our Valeera... Yep. Valeera being alive there was just nuts. So focus the Vol'jin in that matchup. You'll have a great time. That's what it seems like. Alright, so we've had some pretty good games with this comp. Definitely learned a lot with it. If you happen to be seeing a lot of orcs for some reason, as unconventional as that sounds, they can be problematic. Garrosh actually gave us a really hard time in a few games, but we did do pretty decently against the other stuff we ran into. We did have some wins against opposing Valeera comps, which was kind of the goal of this. Like, I don't think this is like a hard anti-Valeera counter or anything, but I do think there is some potential for this being good against that. But yeah, I overall, I did really kind of enjoy the comp. I do think that right now, Valeera and Grom together are just so strong that you can kind of throw a lot of different third mercenaries in here to different varying results. But Natalie felt pretty good, and I think it's going to need a little more tuning, and I definitely need to play more with it, because there were a lot of lines when I was playing this that I think it wasn't always super clear what the best thing to target from our side would be against the opponent. So I think that just comes down to a lack of experience with this like particular archetype, because I haven't really played too much Shadow in a while. So got to do a little bit more practice with it. But so far it felt pretty good to me. Definitely a lot of fun to try out if you enjoy the shadow synergies and that kind of stuff, and you're looking to play Valeera Grom. And yeah, Sylv actually felt pretty good. She kind of did what I was hoping she would do. There were some games where she didn't do quite as much as I would have liked in the end game. However, there were other games where the shadow synergy with Vol'jin was actually relevant and very helpful. So I think you could do some experimenting here. I think it might be worth trying something other than Sylvanas in this slot if you want to try a different fighter in here. Thinking about it, I do kind of like Illidan as a possibility. Illidan's done a lot of work for me as a late game unit, and he'd be filling kind of a similar role as Sylvanas, and he's just trying to scale up and get some kills in the end game, and I think he might actually have a little bit of an easier time doing that than her. So that's one thing to think about if you'd like to tweak this comp a little bit. It might be worth trying Illidan over Sylvanas. That could be pretty good, I do think, but Sylvanas wasn't bad. She definitely feels all right. I just think that the meta is a little bit hostile to her right now, with a lot of protector heavy starts, but you are bringing her out at the end of the game. So usually if their starts are more protector heavy, those protectors are gone by the end of the game, unless you're Orcs. And Garrosh is a really big problem for Sylvanas. He felt like the hardest counter I ran into. And so yeah, if you're seeing a lot of Orcs, watch out, don't play this. But if you're seeing, other stuff like a lot of other Valeera decks or some of the other decks that have been kind of popular in the meta, I think this is a-okay to try out against them. And it's a lot of fun to play. I had a lot of fun playing this comp. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, let me know. Drop a comment below and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. We have a lot of cool stuff planned in production right now. We're actually today is the day we are doing our Open Series tournament, the Pauper Open. So if you don't know about that, I'll put the link in the description where you can check that out. I'm actually going to be co-casting it with Mulhu because unfortunately one of our other casters had some stuff come up and will not be able to make it today, so I'm going to be filling in for them. And it should be a really fun time. So if you want to see some cool tournament mercenary stuff in kind of a new, more free-to-play friendly format, or if you want to compete in it, there's still time to sign up. So, but yeah, that's going to do it for me. So definitely check that out. Should be a really fun event for the community, and I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace.